So, good afternoon. Thank you for being on another episode of the Here Now videocast. I'm joined by Jonathan Sundaraj.
Yes.
And we've known each other a long time. And we never had this opportunity, but we had a coffee the other day. And Jonathan's also on the pursuit of spirituality and coaching. And we thought it would be a good time to speak to more men and speak about men and seeing that men need more of a voice, and hopefully in men finding their voice, we can be of better service to each other. So thank you for being here, Jonathan, for being my guest.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Lindsay.
Pleasure. So to kick off, as it's the year now, where are you from? Who made you? What made you? How was the beginning of this beautiful journey?
How did these how do these particles come together and form this body container of what's me today?
How does that?
The way I look at it, and in my journey right now, the way I describe it is the soul decided to show up in the south of India.
Where about?
In Chennai.
Chennai.
Yeah, Chennai in south of India.
Sadhguru's land, no?
Yeah, Tamil Nadu is Sadhguru's land. It's also the land of Ramana Maharshi, another
fantastic.
saint who I'm very much big fan of.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, so I was born to, my dad is a pastor. Both my parents are actually pastors, Christian pastors.
Oh, fantastic.
In the south of India.
Your mom is a pastor too?
Yeah.
Amazing.
So we both kind of did this together. And, it's very, I always laugh at the play of life because you have, Christians are a minority in India.
Mm-hmm.
So I was born into this Christian family, into the country that I now discovered has the most ancient spiritual teachings available, right? If you look at the Rishis and stuff, it's like 5,000, 7,000 years old of teachings. Yeah. But then you're born into a Christian family.
Interesting.
So my upbringing was very interesting because I was kind of cocooned in a worldview of Christianity, surrounded by ancient teachings, but never exposed to the ancient teachings because those were considered to be contrarian to the Christian.
So there's no tie-in between the two. So the ancient teachings and the Christian religion, they have no collaboration. There's nothing tying that ancient wisdom with the 2,000 years of Christian wisdom. Is that what you're saying?
There is definitely stuff that's tying in together. And the way I like to distinguish it and what I've learned is what has emerged and what many of us today follow as Christianity is probably better called Churchianity.
Churchianity.
Right. So what happened after the Holy Roman Empire was established under Constantine.
Yes.
There was the Council of Nicaea that was established. And there it was decided which books will make up the Bible we have today.
Yes.
And also what happened is the translations have been, as it happens with language, if I speak to you in French and then you speak to someone in German and then it goes, we lose the essence of what was said.
Absolutely.
So Jesus spoke in Aramaic. So a lot of his teachings, for instance, if you look at the Lord's Prayer, we know it as Our Father in Heaven.
Yes.
But the first line is Abun the Breshmaya, which means Father, Mother, Birther of the Cosmos.
Okay.
Like, see how powerful that is, how all-encompassing that is.
Yes.
But anyway, so what happened is as it went translated from Aramaic to Greek to Latin and then to English, what we have today, and other languages, we lost the complete essence. Plus, each culture attached their own worldview to it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, while Jesus taught very close to what the Rishis taught in India, which is that the union with God is what we're seeking.
Beautiful.
But the Greek viewpoint became one of dualistic, which means you are here and God is far away.
Yes.
And you need to do a lot of things to get to God.
Yes.
So that kind of diluted.
Exactly.
Yes. So in my journey, what has happened in a beautiful way is that I've come full circle by exploring all the scriptures.
Okay.
The Vedas, the Gita, Dhammapada, and even some of the Sufi teachings. And it's brought me back to the essence of Christ and the original teaching. So to answer your question, there is very much a cohesion.
Okay, beautiful. And so the cohesion is there, but growing up in a Christian home with two Christian parents, was there ever anything in you that spoke of something else?
Absolutely. So I think from age 11, and I say this on my website as well, age 11, I asked the question, what am I actually here for?
Beautiful.
And if this God is who you say he is, then why is the world in the way it is and all of this? So that began my exploration. Yes. And yes, I departed from the Churchianity, I call it. I departed from Churchianity and took a journey of my own exploration to really come back, or I say God brought me back to him.
Yes.
in that sense, right? Yes. But unfortunately, because in India's was ruled by the British for 400 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Christianity we know today has been imposed by the British.
Okay.
And therefore, everything that was not in line with Churchianity was discarded as the opposite or demonic or wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I heard that. Yeah.
So that really gave you this very opposed worldview
that clashed to a degree.
Absolutely.
Okay.
To a big degree.
I think it's still clashing today to some degree, right?
Yeah.
It's never really been. They never accepted each other, the two sides. No.
Yeah.
And so, with trying to get to understand you, there was the click or the awakening or the question at 11 years old, right?
Yeah.
And how did that sit with your parents? Because
not well.
I can imagine. I can resonate with that, but I can imagine. But what did that do?
Not well. I mean, I think the challenge was because my dad, and bless him, we have not repaired, but we've gone full circle in our relationship, and we've kind of come back together. Amazing. And he's been on his own journey, and he's he's also found aspects of God in a very different way, and we kind of connect on that now today. But back then, he was very much holding the lamp or holding the light and leading everyone else. Okay. So here's his son asking him like very challenging questions. So as would typical parents, and I don't blame him at all, would do is like, hey, this is how it is. That's it. Just trust the process, follow the thing. But I knew inside it was not making sense to me.
Okay. And childhood, was it happy, joyful? How was it for you? What was shaping you to eventually get to this mania today?
It's a mixture. Mm-hmm. There were beautiful moments of joy. Now, in retrospect, when I look back, I remember I wrote a letter to my dad, I think, on his birthday, which was in February. And in that letter, I said, look, so let me go back. So it was joyful, and it had its harsh moments, or probably quite a lot of harsh moments. The biggest harsh moment was I was admitted to a boarding school with a lot of international students, so people from around the world, who came from very affluent families. We were not as materially rich, and that was kind of gave me this exposure to a world that's full of materialism, and I longed for that because it seemed to be nice, and the kids would have new stickers every term. I would be like wearing my old junk. So I longed for that, and I saw this man who was my father, who was only interested in God. And now when I look back in the letter that I wrote to him, I said, you told me all along, but here I was, a fool back then. It takes time for a fool to learn these lessons and understand that the real treasure is your heart, is your attitude to life, is your ability to be kind, to be generous, to be spacious, gracious, caring, and not the material things, right? And unfortunately, the world we live in today has elevated those things and
A lot.
given those things people to chase after. And actually, it's a very interesting thing because consumerism, because I was watching a clip today, the guy says the consumerism is actually, it's actually a panacea that people are seeking because they feel abandoned.
I love that. And it resonates so deeply. And abandoned by what?
So that's a powerful question. So this is very interesting, right? Because I think the journey that one can really, that every human would, well, it's a choice for every human to take, right? And that is to discover yourself, find self-realization, and find the divine. Because for all of us, we have that divine connect with it. I like to call it a hole. There's a hole that only one thing can fill, right? It's like a square thing, and you try to put all different shapes. When you're a kid, nothing goes in. So there's this God-shaped hole in all of us that only God can fill. But we feel abandoned because there is a sense of, at some point in your life, or many points in your life, if you really think about it and you really sit with yourself, you will say, I don't feel authentic. I feel I'm faking it. And in fact, it became a credo, even in corporate culture, fake it till you make it, which is basically perpetuating inauthenticity, right? And we all know, us who have lived for a little while, when you keep being inauthentic, it won't show up in the public space. When you're quiet on your own, you know you're lying, and the biggest lie you're telling is to yourself. So you feel the sense of abandonment in the sense of, I'm lost, a sense of lostness. And then you also feel a sense of abandonment because you want to be part of the tribe, like everyone else is doing this. But you feel that if I step away, I'm going to be separated from the tribe. Right? So this is that sense of abandonment in that sense. And then we don't know how to actually navigate that abandonment. So what do we do? Just like any kid would do, look around and we say, oh, what's the other guy doing? And we just copy.
To some degree.
Maybe if I get a better car, maybe if I get a $500 t-shirt, it's going to fill that hole. But that will never fix it.
No. And you started seeing this, so this was you're dawning on you from a young age. Is that what you're saying? You had that struggle that I guess the soul requires in the beginning to know the difference between enlightenment and materialism.
That enlightenment came very recently. So I went on my full arc journey, right? So even up into so I'm 44 now. Even up until 5 years ago, I was on this very big, so because my family came from, was not an affluent family, I put a lot of effort into like, I'm never going to be like them. You know, I'm going to make sure that I manage my money well, I do some investing, you know, so I went on this big thing of chasing how to become rich. How am I going to exit this trap of needing to rely on a salary and all of that, right? That's as recent as 5 years. Right. But then it really, there was a point it really broke. And I think the point where it really broke is when I was doing my coaching training in Seattle. And this is a beautiful power of good coaching, I should say. Powerful coaching, because there's differences. And in that one session, the coach was training us, and he asked for a volunteer. So I said, okay, I step up, do this. And we spoke about values, and we came down to kind of one rub. And basically, I realized in that session that although I had said I forgave my parents, but I felt that my parents had robbed me of life, robbed me of a life I could have, right? And for instance, I don't have a formal education. Like, I don't have a formal degree. Universe has beautifully carried me through many experiences and given me, experiences and exposures in life, working for big companies and stuff like that. And that's now I'm very clear it's all to the grace of God leading me
Okay,
to
great.
those opportunities. But for instance, I used to feel inferior because
Of course.
all around me were like MBAs,
Of course.
masters of this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, felt lost. And I felt in that session with that coach, I felt it hit me that I felt my parents had robbed me. And that tore me. It really, like, I was reduced to nothing. And I was very angry at them. And all of this had to happen in me to churn and bring me to the end of my, I guess it was the time for my ego to crack, really, right? And as Rumi says beautifully, it's only through the crack that the light enters.
Yes.
Right? So that was my, if you want to call the crack moment.
Yeah.
One of the crack moments. We go through many.
Of course. Of course. And there's the more significant ones that will stand out, right? But
Yeah.
I think the soul, I feel from what you're saying, the soul is always looking for the light to come
Absolutely.
in, right? So it might have a small crack here and it might have a big shatter here, but it's always asking us to open up so we can let the light in, right?
Absolutely. And you always get those, and this is the course that I do as well in my work, and that is like the soul is always sending you these signals through your life. But because of this abandonment issues, because of this consumerism, because we are chasing goals that we never chose. Nobody chose, like if you woke up in the morning, you'd be like, who told you I want to be VP?
Yeah.
Like who gave you that goal?
Yeah.
Who told you that you have to hit the top line and then keep multiplying and increasing and it's got to be like exponential? Like who told you this? Right? So we are given, or grades in school, right? Who said that the A+ student is a better student? These are all constructs that have been created for us, right? So when we are running after those things, we drown out the voice of soul. Even though we get the pointers, right? It says, hey, something feels wrong here. Something doesn't feel right. And I don't feel deeply happy or peaceful, actually. But I still stick to it. I still do it. It's very interesting because now there's a new concept, apparently. There was an earlier concept called quiet quitting.
Okay.
Which is basically you do your job. You go there, but you're actually not showing up at
You've
work.
Resigned, basically.
You've resigned.
Soulfully, you've resigned. You just show up.
But now there's a new term, apparently. It's called job hugging, which basically means that you're so scared that if you lose that job, you lose your identity, you lose your source of income, you lose all the things.
I can resonate with that one.
So you're like, I will do whatever it takes to hold this on. I know I'm not going to get promoted. I know I'm not going to get new opportunities. I know that this job is a dead end in terms of my capabilities of improving myself, etc. So you're in this job hugging phase.
I can resonate with that one. Yeah.
So I don't know if I deviated from.
No, we're good. We're just freestyling. It's fine. But I love the different awarenesses on where we are in terms of society today. Who told us this path we're on about this exponential more next thing? And then just before we move on from getting to understand who you are, what would you say to that little boy who didn't have new sneakers when all the other kids have, now sitting here? Is there some wisdom you can impart to him?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's the kind of the line that I wrote to my dad, which is, and even the line of Christ, which I really love, where Christ says, these are ancient teachings, right? Even in the Vedas or in Gita, you will see it, is that this verse that says, store not for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy. Rather store for yourselves treasures in heaven where it goes on for eternity, because that's the soul is eternal. This is a transient experience. This is a kind of the Maya or the illusion we've come into. But we get, it's like, it's like if you're cast in a play as Hamlet, right? And in that play, you are playing Hamlet and you're doing a fantastic job. But the play ends and you still go out into life and you're acting as Hamlet. So it's like, that's how we are. We we think, but we're actually in a play.
True.
But in that play, we want to learn those things. So that's the verse I would tell the young boy. Of course, the young boy didn't understand it back then.
No, but he's here now, and he'll hear you, and it'll bring some peace to him as well. And
Oh, it has brought a ton of
you
peace.
see, so yeah, it's just to move on from the past and getting the foundation of who you are,
Yeah.
and just to close on that point,
Yeah.
and then we'll move on. Because yes, please do.
No, that's a beautiful point, right? And I think so. All of us as humans, whether we like it or not, right? We are going to have to learn the skill of healing. And when I say we're going to have to learn the skill of healing, is that we're going to have to heal ourselves at some point, because we've all gone through something. We're all healing from something, and no one's going to heal you. So the point is, I don't regret. When you are healed, you don't regret the past. You are grateful for. There's a gratefulness that emerges about the past. Like,
Absolutely.
every experience was not a mistake.
Absolutely.
It was all a lesson and all to help me. At that moment, or maybe even later in life, I thought it was, oh my God, I wish this never happened. But when you heal, you're like, wow, that's a scar to kind of
Yes.
actually be proud of.
Yes. and that's really, really beautiful as we segue onto the future, that the choice to heal, I think if you avoid it, you suffer perpetually. Which I feel modern society is trying that by all means, like desperate to avoid turning around and taking responsibility for what is unavoidable.
Absolutely. Go to basic medicine today, right? You get a headache. The world around you says, pop a pill, right? What are you doing? You're just numbing yourself from the pain. If you look at the teachings of the old Rishis and even Christ, things like meditation, the actual yoga, Raja Yoga, not just the body contortions, all of these things can actually heal your headache without any chemical. Because what are you doing? When you're taking a chemical, you're tricking the brain to think there's no pain there,
exactly.
right? You're shutting down that thing, but then you're injecting yourself with something else. But that's the world we live in. We don't want pain. But pain is what actually teaches us so much. And the real healing is when you begin to see the value of pain and suffering as a teacher, right? And not trying to run away from it. That's a huge shift that can be monumental in your growth. Monumental.
I love that. And I don't want to make this about me, so I won't tell stories about my last session before you came. But yes, I really love that. And I wonder where we would be if this kind of education was instilled from grade one. If this was drummed into us like the 2 times table and the 3 times table and up to 12 times table was drummed into us. So by grade 2 or grade 3, you could recite the 12 times table, but you couldn't feel, you couldn't describe how you felt, right?
Yes.
And you weren't seeing suffering as a tool.
Yeah.
We would have so much. I mean, but it's not that might be even a regret perspective, but that's not important. But so back to you, Jonathan. Now that you're on the spiritual path, the coaching path, the combination of it, what's the vision for the future?
Ooh, I love that question. If you summarize all the Buddhist teachings into 1 or 3 lines, right? It says, and I have this up on my wall at home, it says something, I'm paraphrasing, but kind of pursue wholesomeness, abandon or do that which is wholesome, do not that which is unwholesome, cleanse the mind, right? The world I'm working towards, right? And when I say I'm working towards, first it begins with yourself, right? Because you cannot, and I'll kind of bring this piece as well. I like to imagine that if each human being took steps to become more wholesome, whether it's healing themselves, whether it is being of service, whether it is understanding what is the reason they came to this lifetime to do and serve as a unique expression of the universe, Imagine if each person is wholesome. When you are wholesome, when I am wholesome, when I then approach to do something or produce something, be it a service, be it a product, something that is wholesome cannot produce that which is a trickster, that which is exploitative, that which is kind of derogatory in any way, shape, or form, right? Otherwise, you're not really wholesome. So, I mean, like my dad used to say, love God and do whatever you want, because like if you truly love God, then you will act as God. You cannot. This is the fun thing my dad used to teach me. There's certain things God can't do. He can't hate. In the sense, right? In the sense of like rage or those kind of things, right?
I like that.
So this way of in my question to people is like, what is your unique way of loving this world? Find that unique way, that you have every person has a unique way of loving the world. If you can find that, because what you will actually find in that journey is, it's fun. You will find the unique way of loving yourself, because no one can love you the way you love yourself, save God alone. But when you find the way that you love yourself, then what happens is there's this vastness that begins to open up in you, because what you will find is that you will reflect the characteristics of the universe, which is it's infinite. So therefore you emit infinite. And when then anyone comes into your field is going to receive infinity, right? And just imagine this perpetuation of multiple beings coming together, and what a force field of energy that's going to create. That is my kind of what I'm working towards one by one. Like, for example, right? I think I was telling you this the other day. Gandhi could not have led India to freedom if the Indians, each Indian person said, yeah, I want to do this, right? So that's what I'm saying. Each person walking around needs to decide, yeah, I want to do this. I want to be wholesome. I want to be a wholesome person. I'm going to take efforts to be wholesome, right? And I think the other part to it is, like the Buddha says, right? If you, like I do these meditation circles and people go, how do you get this far? It's like, yeah, I started with 60 seconds of meditation. That was my first thing. But like Buddha says, if a drop goes into a bucket, over time, that bucket will get full, right? But we want this overnight, and it's going to fix all the problems. Yes. No, yes. Each person needs to kind of come to this space. So I envision a world where more wholesome people begin to show up, and whoever I can get in contact with or who wants to kind of connect with me, that's what I'd like to pass on and kind of draw that out from them. Hey, look how wholesome you are, right?
It's like you're preaching to the choir. Sorry to use an analogy, but I just like, okay, I get it.
Let's sing together.
I get it. I love it. And yeah. I love it very, very, very much. And there was only one thing that I was going to, share with you and ask for clarity. The confusion of love yourself. There's been some sort of skewing of that healing kind of approach, because people have turned it into selfishness. Because now more people are starting to love themselves, but closing their heart at the same time, which is why relationships are starting to struggle. So just wanted to echo that when you love yourself, like the analogy used with, you can't do wrong. When you love yourself, you're open and you start emanating this healing, loving energy around you, right? Yeah. Not to sound too esoteric, but it happens, right? We feel, we can't avoid that. So that loving yourself, if it's not making you more open to kindness and joy, then it isn't loving yourself.
And
is that just to echo?
No, that's a very beautiful. That's a very beautiful clarification, and kind of adding to this. To love, go to the source of love, which is God. You cannot learn. You don't know what love is unless you touch God.
True.
Because everything else you're trying in love is going to result in more of an egotistical love, which is like, oh, am I being satisfied here? Am I? No. Once you go into, like, we say we fall in love, right? And Ramdas has this beautiful thing. Is like, if we say we are in love, it's like you are there, I am there, and we're both inside love. So you're swimming in love. That's a very different way of looking at it than trying to say, because if you do what you were saying that many people are kind of struggling with, that, okay, I love myself and then I isolate myself, or it becomes a very selfish kind of.
Absolutely.
And then what happens is we have actually misunderstood.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm going to say something pretty hard here.
Speak truth.
That's actually lust.
Okay.
That's not love.
Yes.
Right? If I, like, it's my way, only if I'm happy in the situation, only if I get this thing. That's lust. Right? Love, as Paul says in the, I don't know which of the letters. My dad's going to be like, oh my God, he didn't love the Bible. But I think it was the letters to the Ephesians or Corinthians, I'm not sure. But there's that beautiful poetry that he says, right? He says, like, if I can speak in a million tongues, or if I have gifts of prophecy.
That's 2 Corinthians 13.
He's a pastor.
I think it's 2 Corinthians, Corinthians 13, yeah.
But basically it says, if I can do all these things, miracles,
and
everything,
I have no love.
and I have no love, I'm a resounding gong and a clanging cymbal, right? And he's like, basically, like, you will know, because you'll see the thing. Love keeps no record of wrong. Love never fails. Love is generous. Love is kind. So you have to ask yourself, in those moments, by shutting myself off, am I being generous?
Yeah.
So you have the guidelines there, like all the things are written down there, right?
Yeah.
It hopes, it never fails.
Yes.
You have to ask yourself, are these qualities coming through now in me? Oh, then maybe it's not love.
And the greatest of these, what, faith, hope, and love, and the greatest is love, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember. I have a church background, so I understand.
Nice.
So back to you, the vision for the future, beautiful. I really love it. How are you, and what do you want to share that can bring this to fruition?
Thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful. So what I do now, currently, what's coming through me is flow with purpose. Is the what should I call it? I don't want to call it a business. I want to call it like the expression of me, right? And it's the core part of that work is a 6 months program, which is basically purpose discovery, right? And it's going through multiple technologies of reconnecting with your soul. Because a lot of people say, connect with God or connect with your soul and you'll figure out, but how? And how do I know which one is my soul language? Like, you could listen to music and that would be like, you're gone.
The channel.
You're the channel. I need art. Someone else needs words. Someone else needs, there's people I do these imaginary journeys with, and they're like, I can't imagine anything. So they need like a pen and paper or to draw something up. But everyone is different, right? Some people will connect more to nature. Some people will connect more to ancestors. It's a plethora, right? So the idea is that this is condensed into a 6 month program, but at the same time, not too short, because it's taking you through unlearning decades of conditioning, right? So you really get to, it's just peeling, it's only cracking the can. After that, there's a lot of work to do, right? But ideally, my vision is to see more people who find semblances of an answer to what the poet Mary Oliver asked. And she says, what am I going to do with this one wild and precious life? Right? So how do you discover that? How do you sit with it? Because, like I say, each one of us is a unique expression of the universe.
Absolutely.
So we carry that, those are our DNA. But then what are we going to allow to emerge through us? And many of us, unfortunately, go through life not allowing it to emerge at all. And then we can go into karmic cycles, but let's not do that.
And so thank you. I feel there's so much opportunity for people to grow and discover, because I love what you said about people get told to do something, but many people don't know how, and many people don't realize that you also have to undo before you can implement
Absolutely.
new. If you don't undo the old ways and beliefs and patterns, you can't just implement new ones,
Absolutely.
right?
And that's exactly what as part of this course, there's a significant sections on undoing, taking off all, because you got to take off all the layers.
really,
And actually,
really
like
important.
going back to our point earlier, the soul already knows. You already have it inside you. Really, the work of the 6 months is actually untethering all these things that are tying you down and allowing that to come up through you. Then, you begin to understand, you have much more clarity, alignment. And really, my favorite part is you begin to find a sense of, hey, I can be of service. I can be of something to humanity. And that, I don't think anything touches the level of satisfaction that you have when you serve somebody.
Yes.
Again, preaching to the choir.
Yes. But I want you to talk it. I agree with you 100%. And okay, so we have that. And then, so if we come to the here and now, what is here and now for you? How are you being? What are you striving for? What is happening in you in service to the mission in the future? What would you like to offer?
Yeah. So here and now, I am learning more and more to follow the voice of the heart, to follow the voice of my intuition, of soul, of God coming through me. So more of my time is spent in meditation, more of my time is spent in studying the scriptures, more of my time is spent in, I get a nudge. Like sometimes I turn up at someone's office, I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. I just came here and let's have a conversation. We have a conversation, go away. Or I see someone in a coffee shop, I say hi to them, and a few months later we're like discussing, right? Or even with us, right? The timing was just now. Could have been earlier, could have been later. We don't know. And I don't know if earlier or later is better. But following that, you were like, hey, do you want to do this? And in my being, which I'm learning more and more to listen to, it was like, yes, hell yes, right? And to really slow down this guy, because this guy is very fast, and this guy's all over the place, the monkey. So to really slow it down and allow what comes to come through and trust the process. And I think the second part is also like what Krishna tells Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita is like selfless service, not worrying about the results. That second part is my learning journey now. That's a tough one, right? Because you put out a post or you put out a YouTube video or an Instagram, and you're like, naturally my corporate instincts kick in. I'm like, okay, how many likes, how many, what's the, let me look at the analytics part of this, but learning to kind of just set that down and allow mystery to do its work, right? So it's this fun game of discipline and surrender. Show up every day, write the content, create the stuff, and then surrender it. So that's where I am right now. This discipline surrender game.
And I love it, by the way. And the letting go as well for me has been very important with that expectation of, I put something out. Why do I want something in return? Can I allow it to leave and just let it go where it goes?
Absolutely.
1 like, 0 likes, 1 thank you, 0 thank yous. Allow the soul to replenish itself through the action, not through the reception.
Yeah. And through that, adding to that, shifting the perception. This is done, at least for myself here now, is the more and more I say, like, this is done for God. This is my gift back to the universe.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Absolutely.
And then once that's the case, again, of course, we're human and all these things. This is the fun game. I find it's a fun game of personal personal development.
Exactly. Growth. The growth is
right. You got to grow through that. Yeah.
And tell us, Jonathan, sell us you. Not selling. I just love the approach. Like, sell us you.
Sell us.
Because I can see great qualities in you. I want you to speak them.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
I've never heard you be this silent for this long.
Actually, we've been talking a lot, like more and more, because usually I'm very like.
No, but it's for you.
Usually
This is your platform for you to express
take
it. It's really nice that you're so open and receiving and giving.
Yeah.
But then?
I would say a few things. One is that people are, or at least people I come across, they're looking for space. The thing that we need often is we need to slow down. We don't realize we need this, but it's in the slowing down and in the creating of space that many of our, what we know in our depths is allowed to come to the surface. One of the things that I truly enjoy doing and I'm excellent at is creating that container. Creating that container for you to come, that space. There's no judgment. There's no like, this is the right way, that's the wrong way. There's no preaching at you. There's a lot of invitation and just holding that sacred space for you to allow the work to come through and honoring each kind of person's journey. So that's one part. Two is I am extremely playful with life. Right? And I think this is a powerful combination because if you can take life as a game, laugh at it, and much lighter, I think that's the way God actually intended us to live. We take life too seriously, right? So if we begin to do that, I think so that's something that I always enjoy doing. And you will find in my sessions, I'm always like pulling out some funny thing, here and there. And then I think the third thing is also this, and probably the most important thing, right? And that is to have the most delightful human experience. You have to get connected with what makes you human, which is the divine spark. And I am definitely a person who will bring that spark alive, like be the fire starter. That's probably like my what's coming. That's what's coming through me now. So I'll share this. I'll share that.
That for me, as we were speaking earlier about being grounded and being in authenticity, it's what is needed in this moment, and it will go where it needs to go.
Exactly.
And it will sit where it needs to sit, and it will manifest and germinate when it needs to germinate, wherever that message, whatever soul it touched. So I'm not fixed on saying the right thing because there is no right thing. It's what is coming from the source and how that's articulated, and that will go where it goes. Like the things you see in a lot now in the air, the little from the dandelions, the white thing.
Yes.
They just float.
Exactly.
And they'll land on a male or female somewhere, and they'll do what they need to do.
Beautiful.
But we don't go take them and put them, I'll take you and go put you there. They just find their way, and this beautiful thing called life it will find its way.
It will.
But the message and the truth that you bring, it's more valuable than trying to pinpoint it into someone, because we don't know who it needs to touch.
Yeah.
But it will touch someone's, which is most important, is why it was so authentic, and that you took your time because it needed to come from source.
Yes.
And if it was too fast as well, then it's a mental excitement. You know.
Yes.
So there wasn't an expectation of the right answer. There was just to let the people feel who you are, which is important, right? And what would you like to give them as well? As we slowly come to wherever we're going to end soon, what do you want to articulate about you, your mission, your purpose, your story? You've shared so much wisdom, and it's been so beautiful to listen. What would you like to impart from your heart, from soul, from God? What would you like to give here for this?
Thank you. Don't wait, and it is never too late. I've worked with people who are, 60 plus. I've experienced in forums people who are 82. It's never too late to understand. So it's never too late to touch your full potential. And when I mean full potential, I'm not talking about the intellectual potential. Because now with AI, this intellectual potential is taking second, third, fourth, fifth place. Humans are so much more than just our intellect. We have so many more intelligences, like your body intelligence, so the somatic intelligence. We have the spirit and the soul intelligence. So it's never too late to reconnect to that. And so that's one. Two is, I'm a huge fan of microdosing. Start small. And just start small, be faithful and consistent, and allow it to kind of go step by step, right? So there's two things that I'm launching, and if people are interested,
Please share.
So one is I do a monthly introduction to purpose discovery, which is a prelude to the course that I do. It's for people to get a taste, a teaser. What is going to be in this course? What's going to be in, part of that. So that's kind of like includes things like some guided meditations, imaginal journeys, and just basically some concepts, but mostly sharing together to kind of build and understand yourself. And two, that's something that's emerging for me, and this is the first place I'm actually sharing it. Is soul dawn, like the dawn that rises, like when the sun comes up in the morning. And this is really, again, a monthly just gathering of people, probably online, probably in real life, we'll see. But to begin exploring these topics, this is coming through me. For instance, where do I orient myself in this whole AI transition of who am I now as a human? So these kind of questions is things that I'm keen on exploring, because I fundamentally believe that, contrary to what everyone's telling us out there about AI, humans are so infinitely potent, like our potential is so infinite that even if you pack, like think about your creativity, you can come up with an idea and then another idea and another idea, and it just flows through you, right? AI can't match that, right? Now think about 9 billion humans on the planet collaboratively. No data center, nothing's going to beat the ingenuity that God has put on us. So why are you then deciding to sell yourself short and not tap into that ingenuity that you have? So it's never too late. And connect with this man, connect with me.
It. And I will leave all your details as well wherever I post this, which would be LinkedIn and my YouTube channel and Facebook. I'll leave all your details. If anybody wants to reach out to Jonathan to discuss, to connect, to find out more information, and just have a coffee, you're more than welcome, I guess, right?
Yes.
I'm offering. Hey, I'm not up with that,
We can have.
That was part of the deal.
We can definitely have coffees. I buy the first one, you buy the second one, then we're even.
Okay. Jonathan, thank you to those listening.
Thank you.
Please, thank you for your time and your patience and for listening. And reach out. And I appreciate your authenticity, your love, and your speaking truth to topics that are becoming somewhat taboo in our times, which I don't appreciate very much, about God and religion and all the religions, whether it's Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, because they all bring us back to that thing, as you said in the beginning, right?
Absolutely.
And that thing we cannot escape.
Yeah.
As long as we're in this human form, we cannot escape that. No matter how many cars, houses, clothes, investments we make, that thing is always going to be calling us home. So thank you for that openness and vulnerability in a time where it's getting a little bit pushed down the pecking order of things that are important for humanity.
Yeah. And thank you for creating a space for this, because I think, you need, I could be thinking about this in my bedroom, but, to put it in an open space is something which you've done, which is amazing. Thank you for that.
And one thing I've learned on this, and we can close, it goes somewhere. I've let go of that likes and views, because you can get likes and views for stuff that is no value.
Yes.
But here with these things, somehow they just go, and you get the feedback later, like, oh, that touched me and this came. So we give it to the universe and we thank the people, and I thank you mostly.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.